1977 was the year the fuse got lit. Metal didn't own the charts yet. Hell, it barely owned a name. But behind the scenes, the amps were louder, tempos were gaining speed, and guitarists were getting angrier. Punk broke through the wall, and metal learned how to punch harder. This isn't the year metal arrived. This is the year it mutated. This is Metal Yearbook, 1977.
Good to be back in England, and it's good to see all you again. Take it, dude.
In 1977, the term heavy metal was still more insult than genre. The big names, Sabbath, Priest, Zeppelin, if you were lucky. But the world was changing. Punk exploded in London. Disco owned the airwaves. And rock was splintering. But beneath it all, a darker, heavier sound was evolving. The riffs got faster, the lyrics got bleaker, and the leather came out. And the blueprint for NWOBHM, the new wave of British heavy metal, was being quietly drawn up in bedrooms and pubs across the UK. Some of the major releases from that year were Judas Priest, Sin After Sin, April 8th, 1977. Their major label debut, Roger Glover from Deep Purple behind the console. It wasn't polished, but it was prophetic. It had key tracks like Sinner, Dissident Aggressor, and Starbreaker. This is where Priest became metal. Dual guitars, double kick, no blues baggage. Halford's high notes could cut concrete. And that cover of Diamond and Rust, absolute unholy brilliance.
We both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust. We both know what memories can bring. They bring diamonds and rust.
Rainbow, on stage, July 1977. Yeah, it's a live album. But it's the Rainbow live album. Richie Blackmore. Ronnie James Dio. Cozy Paul. A lineup that could level a mountain. Some of its key tracks were Kill the King, Man on the Silver Mountain, and Catch the Rainbow. Kill the King in particular was thrash before thrash existed. Dio's voice had mythic power, and Blackmore's solos were still setting fires. Rainbow wasn't metal yet, but you could hear it getting close. Motörhead. August 21st, 1977. This is sloppy, it's snarling, and it fucking rips. This is Lemmy taking the wreckage of Hawkwind and turning it into a speed freak rock and roll tank. Half punk, half biker blues, all danger. Some of its key tracks were Motörhead. Iron Horse / Born to Lose, and White Line Fever. Motörhead wasn't accepted by punks or metalheads yet, but in time, everyone would kneel to Lemmy. This was his first shot.
We are Motörhead, and we play rock and roll.
AC/DC Let There Be Rock, March 21st, 1977. AC/DC wasn't metal, but with Let There Be Rock, they helped build the damn cathedral. Some of its key tracks, Let There Be Rock. Bad Boy Boogie and Whole Lotta Rosie. And then you got Blue Öyster Cult, Spectres, October of 1977. Known for cowbells and mysticism, Blue Öyster Cult dropped one of the weirdest and most metal-adjacent albums in Spectres. Some of its key tracks, Godzilla. Death Valley Nights, and the Golden Age of Leather. Godzilla alone earned them a lifetime pass. Camp, horror, riffs. That's the BOC formula, and it worked. Some of the tours and festivals of 1977? Punk explodes in the UK. The Sex Pistols released Nevermind the Bollocks in October. The Damned. The Clash, and Susie and the Banshees lit the scene on fire. Metal took notes, especially on speed and aggression. Disco dominated the United States.
Underworld down in Chinatown. She runs.
Saturday Night Fever was about to drop. Rock went into defense mode. Some doubled down, others sharpened their edge. Van Halen signs to Warner Brothers. Their demo, produced by Gene Simmons, gets them a deal. Van Halen 1 would hit in 1978, and we're getting there, but the wheels were in motion today. Kiss was peaking. Love Gun released in June. Alive 2 came out later that year. It was spectacle over substance, but metal kids ate it up. And the NWOBHM is in gestation. Bands like Iron Maiden and Saxon are still demo level, but they're watching Judas Priest, watching Motörhead, and they're taking their fucking notes. Some of the losses and the legacies of 1977. Mark Bolan of T-Rex. He died in a car crash in September. Glam was already fading, but his death slammed the door. Bolan wasn't metal, but without glam's stagecraft, early metal wouldn't have looked the same. Led Zeppelin enters their decline. No studio album in 1977. But In Through the Outdoor is coming. Page and Bonham's addictions are worsening. The tour that year was plagued by riots, injuries, and grief. Ronnie James Dio leaves Rainbow after friction with Blackmore. He'd eventually land in Sabbath. But in 1977, he walked away from one of the most powerful lineups in proto-metal history. UFO's influence starts to grow. Lights Out drops in May. Guitars like Kirk Hammett and Dimebag cite Michael Schenker as gospel. Metal journalism begins to take shape. Sounds and Kerrang! Magazine start highlighting heavier bands, not just rockers. The term metal isn't solid yet, but the category is forming. So 1977 didn't give us a classic metal record. It gave us the blueprint. Priest found their voice, Lemmy found his fight, Dio found his myth, and 1,000 kids in denim vests found their purpose. The 80s would bring the explosion, but 1977 was a spark. Louder, faster, meaner. That was the message. So what do you think is the most metal album of 1977? Is Sin After Sin the true origin point? Or did Motörhead kick the door in first? Hit that subscribe. Sound off in the comments. Pick up some of Headbangers History's gear to keep this channel brutal. And don't miss Your Crisis Coach with Scott H. Silverman and myself, our podcast that dives deep into mental health. And I also talk about the metal involved with mental health and addiction. But who cares, because I'm Fred Carroll. Today, this is Headbangers History, where every riff tells a story.